Hi, we're Inc.
Inbar,
Navneet, and Carlotta.
We wrote 2 poems, and the underlying theme of our poems is that in order to love yourself, you must first appreciate your surroundings and your capabilities.
This first poem is called When Our Beauty Speaks, and it was written by me, Carlotta, and by Navneet. This poem talks about our journey to embracing our inner and outer beauty.
What a shame I grew up never believing I was beautiful. I didn't have that flawless fair skin or that silky big hair. I was born brown with black hair. It's not shown in media so often, so when people looked at me, they saw something foreign. I apparently didn't fit that image of beauty.
When I was young, I never questioned my confidence. I was never worried about the way I looked or the way I talked, and I was fine with the way I walked. Because of that, I promised myself that I wasn't going to stop believing in my beauty. I was innocent and free.
At the age of 13, I said to myself, "You are beautiful?" It became more of a question than a statement. I searched for flaws and developed insecurities. I had forgotten about my strength, about my smarts. I forgot that I was a kind human being because I was too busy being consumed by the outside opinion.
Once I reached the age of 13, I forgot that I was beautiful. The word itself lost its meaning. I didn't think I had the right to talk about my insecurities. I was afraid to be told it was all just a delusional phase. I couldn't love others rightfully because I had to learn to love myself truthfully.
By the age of 15, I was told to be something I wasn't.
This is enough.
It's because of you, media, and your lack of sympathy for the average human being. Instead of love, you filled me with hatred.
Because you say hairless bodies are the new beautiful.
You act as if hair is not on my arms or my legs.
Shame.
Because when you say all shapes inside you are beautiful, except you disregard the ones that are too big, too small, the ones that are tattooed,
Pierced.
too old,
Too hairy.
or too dark. You've casted the rest of us out. The majority has become the minority, and you still dare to say, "Look at us, aren't we all beautiful?" while holding up an image of women with perfect hair, teeth, skin, and all in the age group of 17 to 35. Stop.
I am tired of the negativity that crowded my brain. I remember the promise I made myself when I was young.
I could never feel bad about myself.
I could never hate myself.
I recognized that others around me felt the same way. People would tell me, "You may think they are beautiful and you may want to look like them, but they probably think the same thing about you." Those words stuck to me like glue, and I carried them with me everywhere I went.
So I decided to work on my confidence, and I began to feel safer in my own skin.
When I turned 17,
The world began to slow down and gave me a chance to rewind time and take a closer look.
as I looked myself in the mirror, I realized that I am the person who I am supposed to be loving. I am the person who deserves all my love.
How could I forget? From the day I was born, I was taught my body is a palace. But I never learned to appreciate what I had, or that
This is what you need to love. I recognized that I was not beautiful for just 1 second in my life. I now know that my beauty is like a sunrise. Once it's ready to shine through, it has no problem revealing itself. It was finally time to let myself love and accept each and every part of me.
curves and all, my big thighs and my behind, my stretch marks and my scars. These marks are a reminder that I grew up, that I made my younger self proud. And now, I have a story to spread.
Beyond just rhymes and matching lines, I made a choice to listen to the voice inside my head, to the voice that had always been there. But all I needed to do was turn up the volume. Be the most positive you can be. Watch that confidence blossom.
Gratitude, and it was written by me, and it talks about how I grew up with my father, who was diagnosed with an incurable and degenerative disease called multiple sclerosis. It also highlights how, in turn, I grew to be more appreciative of myself and my surroundings, and therefore I love myself more. This is my life, but it is not a pity story. I thought my childhood was cut short. When I was 8, my own dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Look at it like reverse aging.
As I was growing older and gaining control over my mind and my body, my hero of a father who was never fazed by any bump or bruise was shrinking back into a younger version of himself. So young that by age 12, his crawling even called for help. Fast forward, by age 14, he could barely hold a spoon. By June, he could forget about eating soup, forget about playing catch, and no,
There was no loop.
No hole to any of this mess.
I realized then
That every second we make an active choice to either breathe.
Or swallow.
Our brains are not hollow, so we know not to ingest when we need to breathe and not to inhale when we need to eat.
for the case of my old man, he choked on that idea far more than you think a person can. And while
Adult diapers.
was the funniest topic among my friends, my dad was wearing one in the hospital like it was some sort of
Hip and cool trend.
So this is my life,
Full of unexpected turmoil.
but it is not a pity story.
Because although I am 16,
And I have experienced a million unexpected battles in my life.
through strife,
I choose to create my own happiness.
through strife, I choose to realize that I have working limbs. Through strife,
I choose to understand that I have control over my mind and my hymns.
and because through strife I choose to be grateful, I appreciate that I am capable.
One day at age 16, when some water made my ears plug,
I heard nothing
around me, but the heartbeat in my body so snug.
inside me.
My breath heaved, and my thoughts crawled like a little bug. And I began to recite myself a list of people that I love,
And at the end,
I added myself to that list above,
it made me remember
to open my eyes to what's around me in all this space, and that I have the freedom to explore this world.
That list made me remember.
That my childhood was not cut short.
Because I let gratitude onto my court.
So this is my life, but it is not a pity story.
So, like the theme emerge, all three of us have emerged from our challenges as better, more experienced, stronger people with a better taste of life. We choose to grow and we choose to be positive despite our challenges and our differences.
when we were young, we didn't realize the things that we had, whether that be our surroundings, our capabilities, or ourselves. But now that we're getting older, we find beauty in our words, our actions, and our confidence.
To end off this set of poems, we decided that it would be best to share a quote that we thought articulated our poems really well. Pain is always there, but suffering is a choice.
Thank you.